Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Ain't clip beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 3, Episode 8. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 3, Episode 8, titled Love Don't Cost a Ring. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
This was a very long episode. It took me forever.
So long.
19 scenes I got.
That's
I wrote
crazy.
down. Yeah. So we will get back to video at some point. It's my fault. I started a new position at work, and temporarily my work from home days are suspended until our team is up to par. I think we're going to start with my work from home days next week. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we can get back to video. We also have to figure out how to get the video uploaded to YouTube, because right now the only place you can watch the one video we have is on Spotify. So we're getting there. It's just still it's a difficult time to be changing anything in our lives, and we weren't ready for me to be the person that changed things. So, but we'll get through it. Shit happens.
We will get there one way or another. Well, this week we start with Lindsay and Scott, and Lindsay calls and tells Scott she has great news. She's finally being released.
Oh, thank God, because I am so sick of just seeing that fucking schlub waltzing around, ironing shirtless, sitting with the limo driver, having some cake. Like, it is about time. I don't know why we drug this out. However, my thoughts went on, it was because of COVID. It had to be the coronavirus. And because this was in the thick of it, because she mentions having to quarantine after she gets out. They didn't send her to the halfway house. They were sending her directly to Scott's home. So she'll just have to be on home confinement and wear an ankle bracelet. This explains some of what we were doing here. I think that production started before shit hit the fan with COVID.
Yeah, she did mention that affected her release somewhat. So he says that he was in bed and she called him 16 times.
I doubt it, because bitch would have answered.
Of course he would have answered. And also, is she allowed one phone call per month, or is she allowed 16 unanswered phone calls per day?
16 in a row, no less. Yeah.
Right.
This one, come on. He's excited to have her home, but there's things that he has to do to get everything ready in his house, like paint. So basically, he's done nothing, thinking that he had extra time because she was going to go to the halfway house for a few months, but he did nothing.
But yeah, I mean, to say like he didn't finish is such an understatement. He didn't do anything. That walkthrough with that designer was a fucking joke. She probably wasn't even a designer.
No, it was dirty too. The house was it was dirty as fuck. Like, dude, clean your fucking house. There is not a stitch of furniture in that place. Where has this dude been existing?
It's like a bachelor pad with somebody who is very immature.
He's so gross.
Well, he says he's going to complete all of this work that he hasn't done up until now as fast as he can. I don't know what that means. Like, does that mean 6 months? And this is not nothing. Like, there's not even a bedroom for Miley, which he was going to put her in the garage, which seems weird, right? Why is she in the garage?
Let's put you in this garage here. We know your grandma doesn't want you anymore and she's pushing you off on your felon mother, but also you sleep in the garage now.
It's so weird.
Well, we see Lindsay finally out of prison. She's walking around the very dead airport and she's trying on sunglasses at the airport shop. She's super overwhelmed, and it's like she's the only person there, and it has to be due to the pandemic.
Well, she says she didn't get in any legal trouble until she was 22 years old, and then things started going downhill for her. I am going to assume that her addiction got the better of her around that age, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, she said prior that her drug addiction started earlier than that. So she got away with it for a little while.
Yeah, I think she was a teenager from what I remember. And then, well, she hit her 22nd birthday and she couldn't believe at this point that she hadn't been to prison yet. So makes sense there. What you said is that she was doing shit up till 22 and then she finally it caught up with her and she got caught.
She says she's only been to prison one time, and that was because she got caught with 98 grams, and it didn't help that she led the police on a chase and had a gun in her car. Well, no shit, man.
And also had a gun. not only.
What the fuck was she doing with a gun?
I don't understand why they run. She was probably in like a Ford Tempo that's going to go like max 90 miles per hour, trying to outrun a police car. Where are you going to go, man? Why are you running? You're caught. You're just making it worse. Pull over and be like, here's my meth and my gun.
I feel like she was used to getting away with things, and she didn't actually think anything was going to happen to her. So she was like, "Well, I don't have consequences for my actions." And this is speculation. I don't have consequences for my actions, so I can do whatever I want, and I'll get away with it. And it didn't work this time.
You got it. I believe that is absolutely the case. So now we see her talking to Miley Grace, and she's telling her that she's actually coming home and not going to the halfway house. And Miley seems really excited. And then we hear Lindsay talking to her grandma, and she asks her if they've Lindsay asks her if they've put any thought into like when they're gonna be able to finally see her.
Right, and Grandma tells her that she's going to have to wait the 14 days because of COVID. So she needs to be quarantined since she just came from the prison. Then that's the responsible thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And then there was something about like they're gonna wait, and then like if they're gonna see if school starts back up, because remember school was on hold, and then if everything's on back to normal, she's just gonna literally drop Miley off to her. See you later. She's your problem now.
I mean, she is her mother.
True.
So she's walking around the airport trying to find some clothes to buy and change into. I don't feel like there would be anything at the airport that she would be willing to wear. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't give an airport clothing kind of vibe.
No, where are they? Wisconsin? I forget where they are. Like just like a state shirt and like some sweatpants.
I don't remember where she's coming from, but she's going to Mississippi.
Okay. I had that totally wrong. But yeah, what's she gonna buy? It's just gonna be like whatever gear they have that has the state that you're in. And that's it.
I don't think there's high fashion at the airport. I could be wrong. Like, it's been a hot minute since I've gone anywhere, but I don't remember there being fashion at the airport.
At least not at the airport that I have here. We have like the world's well, no, Scott was at the world's smallest airport, but we have a pretty freaking small airport here. Well, we have two and they're both small. They don't have shit in them.
She says she's going to let Scott fund her shopping the next day when she gets everything she needs. I don't know that Scott's honestly got the money to fund anything.
No. She thinks that Scott is going to have her dream home ready for her, and she's very appreciative of that, right? But whatever. And then when she goes to Mississippi, she's going to put everything behind her, and this feels like absolutely amazing.
So she told Scott that she needed the credit card information so she could download all of her apps, and he sent it to her, and told her that she's spoiled and not to go crazy. I guess he's assuming that if it's apps, she's not going to overwhelm him. I mean, how much can you spend on apps? A few hundred? If you were.
But what apps is she? Because most apps are free. So I'm just wondering if maybe it cost money for her to download her apps because she'd be in airplane mode. I wasn't sure because most apps are free.
Yeah, I don't
Unless you're
know.
buying in-app purchases, like you're buying extra like coins on, I don't know, fucking Candy Crush. Like, you know what I mean?
I have no idea what she would be spending money on the apps, or why she would. I could see why you would need a credit card number. I mean, there are apps like your Apple Pay has to get set up through that, and some of the apps I think you can't download unless you verify that you have Apple Pay set up.
Sure, in case you accidentally buy something.
Right. Well, she says that she doesn't go crazy. She is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in that Scott doesn't know that before him, she had several older boyfriends that were willing to spend a lot of money on her, and I
bet she did. She's a pretty girl. Like, you can't say she isn't. She hopes that their prison chemistry will be the same on the outside. I can't imagine how it would be, but for your sake, I would hope so too.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Destiny and Sean, and Destiny is in an Uber complaining that Sean's card got declined at the store.
Yeah, she went into that furniture store. She was looking for a date. She was going to decorate that house with her boyfriend's card. It gets declined. Oh, just terrible. You know, if we only had these problems. And then he says, when she's talking to Scott about this, he's like, oh, well, you had the wrong pin. And Destiny goes, no, it said that the card was canceled. And he's like, oh, no way. There must have been a glitch, a credit card glitch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who is he thinking he's fooling here?
But the question is, did he cancel it, or was this whole thing faked?
Who knows with this show?
I would just give her a credit card I knew didn't work. Like, I would report it lost or stolen and then give it to her and be like, bye.
No, I would take one of those fake credit cards that you get in the mail, like with the mailers, and just give her one of those where it says like John Doe on it or no name at all. Like, here's my credit card. Go nuts.
You can spend as much as you want.
Fill your card at Marshall's and then declined.
Well, he tells her he couldn't call the bank because she had the card, and she asks him why he didn't just Google the number, and he makes an excuse, which makes me think he probably did cancel the fucking card, like I would have.
Yeah, either that or he put a hold on it. You can put a hold on any one of your cards.
Yeah.
So he put a temporary hold on it, I bet. Or something. And I thought that he said, well, I couldn't get the number. I thought he meant, well, because you had the card, I couldn't get the card, not the phone number, because you can Google the phone number for a bank, but the card number on the card.
Yeah, but he could have just given them a social security number or something like that. So that was a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, any other identifier. He's thinking, oh, this bitch is stupid.
Well, he lies. I think he has lied, and he does lie so much that he just assumes people are going to believe him. The only thing I can think is that Kelly believed his bullshit, and so he just thinks everybody's going to believe his bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he so freely lies. He says he thinks that Destiny's afraid of missing out on things, so she's doing whatever she wants. I think that that's just who Destiny is. I don't think it's that she suddenly feels like she's missing out.
No, she just lives. I don't feel that she's ever supported herself in one way or another. Everyone or everything or whatever she's been doing has been supporting her family, whoever is on the streets, boyfriends, men outside of prison, whatever. She's just a spoiled brat, and she's just living life for free, and that's all she ever just has known.
He says he blames himself because he never told her no when she was in prison. I blame you too. Like, she has no reason to think she can't behave like this if you've always let her do it. Why would you behave I mean, other than not wanting to be a piece of shit, you know what I mean? Why else wouldn't you behave like this?
Yeah, he's created a monster, and it's not exactly his fault, but like we said, like she was already a fucking monster. He bought himself a monster. And he says that she's the best thing that's ever happened to him. And I'm like, bitch, what? Because this is what?
It doesn't make any sense. He's in denial. And she tells him that he needs to communicate with her. He says, like you said, you're the best thing. What about your kids? What about your kids, man? You have 6 children. None of them were good. None of them were better.
This woman gave him 6 fucking children, which is not for the faint of heart. And yet she is not the best thing that's ever happened to him, nor his children, like you said. And then she says, he says, well, I know in the beginning of this, we were both talking to other people. And she's like, we were both talking to other people.
Well, she was fucking other people. Like,
now she knows for a fact she was just expecting him to not be, because she could do whatever she wants, but Sean can't.
He tells us that he considers Kelly to be his ex-wife because they were together so long.
Yeah. Destiny also says that she's gonna punch him in the face over all this, which is really fucked up. Like, and she meant it. She wasn't like just being jokingly being like, I'm gonna punch you. She's like, I'll punch you in the face. And then Destiny tells him that if anything else comes up and there's something else that she finds out, she's gonna bounce.
She fucking asked a woman out on a date that same day. What do you mean you're mad that he's talking to the mother of his 6 children? What the fuck do you mean, man?
She can do whatever she wants, but he can't. This is what the rules are.
Next up, John and Christiana. And Christiana says she was able to sit down and talk to her mom for the first time in 4 years.
She's talked to her, obviously, but she hasn't been able to like spend time with her, is what I think she means. Is like she just hasn't had time to like really sit there, be with her, talk to her, have a face-to-face conversation. And then we kind of go to like John and Christiana, and they're like, he's gonna pick her up for her to go get job applications. He says they haven't been able to consummate the marriage yet, and that she's only able to get out of the halfway house if he's picking her up to go do that job searching. So they have to be out and picking up applications, but they're trying to find a way to sneak other activities in.
So they go into the restaurant and they're planning on having lunch. And like you said, she's planning on also applying. But she does ask for the application when they go in. So she was legitimately doing that. And like he said, hey, we'll fill it out while we eat. So technically she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, plus a little bit, like padded a little bit. But she's got to eat, right?
I would think that you're allowed to at least like eat while you're out looking for applications like that. I mean, 10 applications a day, right? So 10 applications a day, you need to stop and get something to fucking eat and drink. But she could have just been like, oh, we're taking a break. But no, she got caught by the CO and they make her leave. And she tells them, well, I asked for a job application. And they're like, well, we just saw you with the menu.
Yeah. He says he's nervous because his back was facing the door. And she was like, oh, don't worry. I'll protect you. Would you feel safe with Christiana protecting you?
No. And, after all this, because this was kind of like, well, I think it was like a mutual idea. Hey, we can get away with this if we do this. He feels responsible. And they just wanted to spend a few extra moments together, but it didn't work out.
And John did tell us that was an actual halfway house employee, and she did get in trouble. He was taken off of her approved driver list for a little while, which is fucked up. And when the halfway house employee comes to get her, he's like hurries to get his stuff together, and he's like, yeah, we're coming. And she was like, nope, I'm taking her. She's riding with me. So you're done.
We found out also later in this episode that that's just a money grab. A money grab. They do this because then they can find her, she can get a ticket, and they can get her money.
Yeah.
And they don't get a lot of money to live off of while they're in that halfway house, at least not from what I've heard. People that I drove in like the medical cab, they used to get like $60 a month.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
She says she had a feeling someone was watching them, and she was right. And she asks the worker if she's still going to be able to go out and look for a job. And they're like, no, you're on restriction to the building. Like, you can't even leave the halfway house.
Mm-hmm.
And he says if they take her back to jail, he's going to bond her out.
Sure he is.
Next up, Chevelle and Quaylen. And Quaylen's been out for 3 days, and they are having a party.
Yep, it's his homecoming party, and one of the things that Chevelle is very nervous about is her mom meeting Quaylen's mom, because she doesn't know what's going to go down. She thinks that Quaylen's mom is confrontational.
Quaylen says it feels good to be getting all this love. I'm sure it would feel great. You kind of abandoned in the prison system for years, and you come out and finally have everybody around you.
Mm-hmm. But now we have to deal with D-Mark, because it's going to be D-Mark's first meeting with Quaylen, and he's not happy with what's going down with these two.
Well, and for good reason, because Chevelle takes Quaylen outside to show him the truck that she bought him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, we forgot, Chevelle's daughter hugs Quaylen's mom, is really like
Oh,
a
I didn't
good
see that.
hug. Yeah, she maybe she, I don't know if they FaceTimed or something, but she really hugged her, jumped up on her. That was really cute. Yeah, so they take him out. We find out what the surprise is. It didn't take 4 episodes to find out that the surprise is a truck, but we saw her purchasing it in the last episode. When she takes him out, she's like, close your eyes. And I wrote, surprise, we bought you a broke ass truck.
It didn't look that bad to me.
It was an old truck. I was like, all right, everyone has a problem with this, but that was not an expensive truck. That was like a bargain truck.
It's expensive if you don't have an extra $5,000 and you're a single parent. To any amount you're spending, $5,000 is a lot of money. And I mean, I thought it was a nice enough truck. And like he says, he doesn't even have his driver's license. So she doesn't need to be buying him a Ferrari. No.
A work truck. That's good. Work in this truck.
He asks his mom how he looks, and she says he looks like a grown man. Finally, you say it.
Someone had to. So Chevelle is getting backlash for all this, right? And she's like, I don't care. This is my man. I don't care what anyone has to say. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And she does. And she's just kind of funding his life right now. We've heard before, she's very generous. She's so generous to the point where she gets taken advantage of, which is where her family is scared.
She says now that he's home, she wants to make sure that he's on the right path. And that's why she's giving him the things that she is and trying to provide for him so that he can get there and make good decisions. Yeah,
and a car to get to work is a great thing to have. He's going to need that. So Quaylen says, I'm not, he was like, I really want to take this for a spin, but I'm not ready to go back to jail. That was a good decision.
I'd say.
Because with his luck, he'd get pulled over. And also, he's not on any sort of probation or anything like that. So it would have been all over again, the whole process.
Well, D-Mark says he doesn't trust Quaylen and says it's only a matter of time before the shit is going to hit the fan and everyone is going to see Quaylen's true colors.
I don't know if it's going to be that severe, but we'll see.
I don't think Quaylen's a piece of shit. He doesn't give off that vibe, but he could be confused. He could be, there's so many different situations, but I don't think he's maliciously trying to pull one over on Chevelle.
No, I see an overwhelmed man who didn't know what to expect after being 17 years old and moving directly into adulthood in the outside world.
Right.
After 12 fucking years.
Yeah.
You expect this person to come out and be fucking normal? No.
Next up, Sean and Destiny. Sean and Hector are going to the store, and Hector says that his wife thinks that Destiny is a little wild. And Sean says, yeah, I've been thinking that too. Just now.
She's more than a little wild. She needs to fucking go. And Sean says that they're opposites and opposites attract. No, I mean, they do, but it doesn't mean that they fucking work out.
Well, yeah, he goes, opposites attract, right? And Hector goes, only in songs, not in life.
It was a good line. I love Hector. He's Hector, my boy.
Hector, my boy.
Hector's my boy.
He says, honesty is very important in a relationship because without it, it will never work out. And he still wants to marry her. Who's honest here? Like, you're both just lying to each other. You deserve each other at this point.
Yeah. He tells him that his card got declined when Destiny was shopping and that he doesn't know why she got mad. I mean, that's a dumb fucking statement.
That's embarrassing. That would be embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Okay, of all the shit Destiny is getting mad about, that one thing is like, here, take my credit card and go shopping. Declined. I'm fucking pissed.
I need $10,000, but I can't spend $160 at this store because your credit card got declined. So we find out that they are going to look for a ring for Destiny. And Hector says, you don't want to at least date for a month before you go do something like this? And he goes, no, it's time. It's been 3 days. It's time.
It's definitely time. Hector thinks that he's crazy, and he's making all these jokes about her choice of jewelry should be handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because that's the jewelry she's used to.
He tells the jewelry store employee that his budget is $2,000. And she asks him if he knows what kind of ring Destiny wants. And he describes it to her. Apparently, they've discussed this, and it sounds like at length, because he knew exactly what she wanted.
Yeah, a rose gold ring with halo diamonds. First of all, hold on 1 second about this ring here. You never walk into a jewelry store and tell them what you want to fucking spend, ever.
Ever? Why would you do that?
Because she's like, oh, look at this. I have this. This is exactly what you're looking for. Guess what? It's exactly $2,000. Of course it is, man. It was probably $1,500 and she's upcharging him.
Hector says that Sean is making a really big mistake and he should wait to see if she deserves to be married or have the ring at all.
Yeah, well, he finds that perfect ring. He says the ring is as gorgeous as she is. He buys the ring, and Hector just thinks he's doing the wrong thing, that he's fucking dumb, and I agree.
Well, Hector asks him how much he spent on her since he met her, and he says almost $50,000, including the ring, and says that if she doesn't go to court, that's an additional $50,000.
He doesn't have, because he says many times that he's used his savings and his 401k, and you have to pay back the 401k. So, yeah, plus taxes. And Hector said, well, and this makes, man, Hector, you are on the ball. He says that Kelly gave you kids and she didn't get a ring, and asked if Destiny knows that he's close to Kelly.
Yeah, he says he's scared to tell Destiny how close to Kelly he is, and that he thinks that she's going to be mad and she won't marry him.
And then that Kelly won't let him see the kids either if he marries Destiny. So,
who she refers to as that whore. I don't blame her here. Like, I'm not one to think that you should keep parents away from their kids unless they're dangerous to them. But the potential for a dangerous situation is there here. She is a felon. She is a drug addict. She just got out. She's got a history of bail jumping. She makes poor decisions. I can understand why you would not want her around your children.
Yeah, this is not a woman that you are just like, I'm so happy for you. Let me meet her. I'm sure that she's going to be a great role model for our 6 children. Right. I'd be scared as fuck. And I don't know all the ages of his children, but hopefully none of them are small, but I don't think they are.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure. He says once Kelly and Destiny meet, everything will settle down. In what fucking world does that make any sense. Why would they settle? First of all, if I were Kelly, I wouldn't want to meet Destiny. Destiny, supposedly being in love with Sean, should want to meet Kelly and the kids because that's a huge part of his life. Not scream at him because they're talking. They have a shitload of children.
Yeah, it needs to be talked about. It's not like he can just, I feel she just wants him to ignore his former life and not have anything to do with Kelly or his children, in my opinion. Actor says that, oh, you didn't meet this chick in church, bro. And that it's just not going to last. That Destiny's going to be gone in 30 days or less. And that he's going to lose everybody, including his kids. And that is a huge, that hands down is not an overstatement by any stretch of the imagination. It is a real risk.
And it could be their own decision. Kelly could have nothing to do with it, and they can see on their own that he is making really dangerous, poor decisions.
Yeah.
Next up, Jessica and Maurice, and they pull up to her parents' house, and he says he woke up ready to meet them and show them he's ready to take care of their daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. They show up, they go in, and the first thing Maurice is doing is he's petting the cute dog, and Maurice says, well, now I feel at home. And it was really weird. It's like he kept remarking about how nice the house was. Like, I'm home. Like, you're not going to live there, dude. You're living in the other house with the cool gym with the one piece of exercise equipment and all the meat in the fridge.
He's really awkward, but also, how fucking tall is he? Did you see how he towered over everybody?
He is basketball player fucking tall. He is huge. I didn't realize it up until now. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah.
Well, her dad says they are apprehensive and there's a chance that he's pulling a con. I feel like they feel more likely than not he's pulling a con. Not that there's a possibility, but he probably is.
I don't know much about these two, but at this moment in time, I don't have anything that tells me he's pulling a con. But I don't know.
He's just so immature. He's so immature, and everything is like this childlike mindset. And I don't know if that's because he's been locked up for so long or what exactly happened. But her mom asks what they've been doing, and they say they've been playing Fortnite. And Dad says, oh, I never had time to play video games because I'm always at work.
Yeah, that's a real dad thing to say. I mean, that's a real nice house. I'm sure Dad definitely worked hard all of his life for that big ass house.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Maurice spills the fucking beans and says, oh, Parole's giving me the runaround, and I'm trying to get this switched around so that I can come out here and live. And Jessica's like, oh my God. And he was like, I knew he was going to blow them in. I knew it because he was real excited. Like you said, very childlike. And he just said it not thinking.
Well, they said a lot of stuff. Like he was talking about when they stayed at his cousin's house, how if you turn the lights on, you'd see the roaches. Do you think they're going to want you in their house with all your shit when you've been staying someplace that is infested with roaches? I would not.
Roaches travel on you and in all of your shits.
Right. And it doesn't take but a second for his mom to figure out that they've broken parole.
Mm-hmm.
And understandably, Jessica's super upset that he told her parents that they aren't even supposed to be there because she specifically told him not to fucking do it. And the first thing he does is tell them.
Yeah. Dad says, you guys need to follow the rules. And then he's pissed off because he tells Jessica, like, you can get in trouble too because that's harboring it would be harboring a fugitive if they went over the state line, right? Like they weren't supposed to. Is that harboring a fugitive?
I don't know.
It's something. It's aiding in something.
Aiding and abetting.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I've never broke any laws.
Well, what? Yeah. I've never broken a law my whole life.
Never.
Dad asks him to go outside and talk. Dun, dun, dun. But they cut the scene there, and we go and see Sean and Destiny very, very briefly. And she says she never ate food in the chow hall because she made her own food in her cell.
She would pay people to bring her breakfast food and then make her own food. And I'm guessing like the kitchen staff or the COs, I don't know who she was paying, but I think that kitchen staff is usually other prisoners, right?
I thought
Mostly?
so, yeah. You work in the
Yeah.
kitchen? Yeah.
At least that's what we see on the television.
Well, so she says again that she drank hand sanitizer, and she goes, "You just have to add a lot of Kool-Aid to it." Huh.
In that moment, I pictured that, and I was like, "What?" Because if it okay, I hope to God it didn't have perfume in it, that it was just straight up hand sanitizer, because some of it has like aloe or like scents in it. Whoa, like that perfume flavor, gross.
That makes my stomach hurt just thinking about it.
Oh.
Then in this scene, she is doing a terrible job of cooking. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but she is doing a terrible job of it.
Bacon, right? Is that what it was? Just slopping around bacon in a pan?
It didn't even look like it was cooking. It looked like she was just sitting there moving around raw bacon.
Yeah, in liquid, yeah.
Next up, Heather and Dylan, and Heather's getting ready to go pick Dylan up. She says they are different people than when they met.
This woman is unhinged.
That's an understatement.
I don't think they last long, right?
No.
We can see why. She's excited to be able to go out and be in the world with Dylan. And today she feels amazing and that someone pressed play on her life. I don't know what is telling her this with this man. This seems like a bad idea.
To be fair, 3 months after they met, he proposed to her. And from there, they just decided they were married. That's easy.
He could have been drunk or high, dude. Like, I don't know. He was he dealt with a lot of euphoric drugs.
I love you so much.
On ecstasy.
She says she didn't get to spend much time with him before he went to prison. We knew that. Like, they had a very short little courtship-ish situation.
And then she hung around for this dude for 5 years after just meeting him for like 5 minutes or whatever it seems like.
Mm-hmm. He's an attractive guy, but not 5 years attractive.
No. In fact, I find him to be like very feminine looking to me. I don't care for his whole look and vibe.
His vibe. She says she got a scandalous outfit to wear to pick him up, but that made him nervous, so she decided to wear a sundress and a sweater.
I don't know what's going on here. So she got him some shit to wear, and she said, but he's gained weight. He's gained like 80 pounds of muscle since he's been in prison.
What did he look like when he went in there? Because I don't know that I believe that.
A twig? Like, no. I mean, he was a model, so maybe he was super skinny.
He would have to have been super skinny because he wasn't that big when he got out.
I think 80 pounds is an exaggeration. She's just saying some crazy shit.
She says she's going to run up and jump into her arms, and she's fine if they end up having sex in the car outside the prison because sex needs to happen. Yeah, I think you should totally have sex at the prison. They wouldn't mind at all.
No, well, we've seen that before. We've seen people getting it on, like in the prison parking lot. Was it Caitlin and Matt or whatever started getting it on in the car, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
He showed her his penis or something. We were like, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, but that wasn't at the prison. That was at the gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they've never had sex, which is shocking to me. So they knew each other this much, and they were like, we're married now, but they've never had sex. Okay.
She says they're going to get married, buy a house, and have a baby.
Mm-hmm. So apparently Dylan used to be obsessed with going out, partying, and having sex with women. What young, attractive guy wouldn't have been living this lifestyle, especially a model?
If he had the ability to, why not? Now, she says her life changed when she met him. I don't know. But here's the thing. She goes on and on talking about how she used to make vision boards and they slowly started manifesting. And that's when they brought him to her. So she manifested a felon who has a drug problem, who is going to be locked up for the next 5 years. Like, what part of this is your ideal man here?
Sounds like she manifested a fairy tale. I mean, give this bitch a castle.
She can buy a Cheryl's.
She was taken advantage of by a lot of other men. Well, maybe you put yourself in these positions because you go cray cray and you're like, oh, we're married now and you're the love of my life. I'm going to get 17 tattoos of your name on me and I barely know you, but we're soulmates and I've manifested you. Come on.
She says at 14, she had never done drugs or committed a single crime, but she did get smart with her stepfather, and her parents put her on a plane with no explanations at all. They ended up sending her to boot camp for troubled teens where she was raped. So that will cause some significant trauma in somebody's life. Being 14 years old, helpless, and feeling like you have been abandoned by your parents.
Oh, she absolutely needs some therapy. You can see it. I mean, I would hands down guess that this is part of this girl's problem and that she needs help. Because she's clearly looking for love in all the wrong places, and this could be why.
Absolutely. So she arrives at the prison and she says everyone deserves a second chance and everyone is deserving of love. I do not agree. Not everyone deserves a second chance. There are things that can be done that are unforgivable.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dylan was one of the. She made it sound like Dylan is the only person she told about the being raped thing at 14.
She did say that he knows what happened to her, but I didn't pick up on her saying that he was the only one who knew what happened to her. But it could be, I mean, 100%. But now, so you only told Dylan and now you're announcing it on national TV?
True.
She said that he pulls her out of the darkness. Next up, Chevelle and Quaylen. And Quaylen's mom stops Chevelle's mom at the party and asks why Chevelle would buy him a truck like that. And her mom says, Chevelle has a big heart. And his mom says, it's over the top. Well, that's not her mom's fault.
I'm not cool with this thing where they are accusing Chevelle of bribing their son. No. I don't like it. It's putting down Chevelle in a way. And I don't think that that's okay at all. This is not an unattractive girl. This is not a girl who doesn't have her shit together. She had the money to buy the fucking truck. I mean, like, this is like it. Basically, they're saying their son is a user at the same time as they're saying that Chevelle is bribing their son or her son. So that's fucked.
It was insulting to everybody. I mean, to both of them.
Everybody.
Honest.
Yeah.
So Quaylen's mom says Chevelle is holding money up above his head like a carrot. And Chevelle's mom says it's money that should be spent on Maila, not on Quaylen. She's not wrong. Chevelle is a single mother first.
Yeah, she said it could have gone like towards a house or towards this or towards that. And yeah, it's not. I understand, but like it's not like Chevelle's like buying him jewelry or buying him hats or clothing or shit like that or like sneakers. She's buying him a truck, and the truck would be serving a purpose in his life to move him forward. If he gets a job, he's going to need a way to get there.
So his mom said that he isn't a user and he genuinely cares for people. And her mom says she feels like he is using her, though. And that's at the point when her mom gets up and walks away after realizing, like, there's no way the two of them are going to agree.
Yeah, like, basically, you have your opinion and I have mine. And then we just pan to them cutting this cake.
Right.
Everything's fine now.
Sort of, because DeMarc says that Chevelle doesn't know him well enough to know that he's going to be the one. He's right. DeMarc is right.
they have to go through a journey, he says, and all they've done is talk while in prison, which we've said this and we've seen this a million times on the show. You are a different person when you step out of those gates, and everything that was in like everything changes. All your promises change, all your views on life change, things you want to do change.
DMARC does tell Quaylen that Chevelle has repeatedly had men come into her life and use her, like you mentioned earlier. So her whole family knows about this. And I don't know how prevalent of a problem it was, but the way that they're talking about it makes me feel like it wasn't one or two times.
No, and that's really sad. It's part of having. I honestly feel she's not buying men. She just has a big heart. I really do. I
Absolutely.
don't think she's buying these men actively, being like, "I'll buy you a truck if you stay with me." That's not what's happening here. And DMARC says, "Look, you guys barely know each other." He says men came into her life, and then when they get what they want, they just slide, and that's exactly what they think he's gonna do.
Next up, Tyrese and Shonda. And Shonda's eating chicken and talking about how much better it is than prison food. Well, that is not a shocker.
She's having a hard time eating chicken in the car, and she's like getting it all over herself.
He says he's disappointed they couldn't go to the hotel, but he's okay with that because it will give him more time to get to know her and see what kind of woman she is.
Yeah, and they have like very short conversations because they're kind of in a rush. And he says, "Look, a lot of people think that I'm too old for you, but we're gonna prove them wrong." And talking to Tyrese, we know this, well, and according to him, this was all a sham. So this was all for show. They never were a couple. They were never thinking about being a couple. And he was just basically giving her a ride and money. And they were friends.
She says that he has 3 kids and his oldest is the same age as her. I feel like he could have been shamed for trying to pursue a relationship with her, and kind of changed up at a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, she feels weird about everything, and she said she does see a potential future for them. And then we go into like they're in the bus station, and she's asking, well, are you gonna send me money? We immediately go into like this whole money thing.
And they have this like super awkward kiss, and he says it's been an amazing day.
Yeah. It feels good to him to do stuff for Shonda, and he just doesn't feel like she's using him. Then he goes to get her a tag for her luggage because she has a lot of stuff, and she realizes, oh, they're going to put my stuff under the bus. Like, how are they going to know like what's mine? And while he walks away, production asks her, why he hands her the money that she asks for. Production asks her why she needs money and what she needs money for, and she says, well, clothes and hygiene. He already bought her clothes. Hygiene, I can understand. Food, whatever. And then they ask how much he gave her, and she says $200. Now, $200 is not by any means a cash windfall or a weird amount of money. Thousands of dollars is. Here's $200 when you're a grown man with grown children and you work and you're not supporting anybody is not a lot of money to hand over, even if she isn't your girlfriend. They acted like it was like a ton of money.
No, it's not a ton of money, but you don't want to be used for any amount of money. Like if she's using him, 200 is still too much because he could have spent it on, I don't know what the fuck he could have spent it on. He could spend it on weed or a drink or, something for himself. That's what I would
Bottle
spend
of whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, like he
Some
could have
vapes.
himself, but he gave it to her. But she says she's ready to go and start her life over, which doesn't sound like she plans on having anything to do with him.
No. They kiss and hug. He says, call me. And then he says that I guess I think I wrote this down wrong, but he's like, well, he's going to go to Kansas when she gets like a weekend pass. And then after, hopefully she'll be able to take her pass and like come see him. Did I get that right?
Yeah, he'll go see her when she gets a pass, and he's hoping when she's done at the halfway house that she will come and live with him,
Okay.
or at least live in Chicago.
Mhm.
Back to Dylan and Heather says she can't wait for him to be free, but she worries that all of this could have been for nothing and he'll just leave as soon as he gets out.
Could be. Very well could be. This one's the riskiest so far. And then they see each other and she's like, run, babe, run. And he's just still walking. And then she runs to him and then she jumps on him and then they kiss.
Well, don't forget that when she spots him walking, she bends over and shakes her butt. Mind you, this is a fucking prison, and he already told her, like, hey, I don't want any, like, outwardly sexual things going on, because it's a fucking prison.
I forgot about that part.
He says he's always been entrepreneurial, and at 18, he started selling drugs. That is one way to work for yourself.
He's an entrepreneur selling drugs. Got it.
An entrepreneur who's been arrested 34 times at least, and he spent 5 years on his most recent stint.
Yeah, he wasn't very good at it. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. You said 34 times, right? And he sold the last time that landed him in jail 100 pills of ecstasy to an undercover cop. You were not very experienced then.
He says it feels surreal being outside of the prison gates.
Yeah, Heather's been there for him, blah, 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 as always. And I couldn't have done this without her. And then he takes his shirt off and she licks his chest.
Ugh. He says a few weeks after he got locked up, she came to see him with his name tattooed on her in numerous times in multiple languages. And at that point, he said, this is borderline obsessive, and he got a little worried. But it didn't stop him from staying with her for 5 fucking years.
That is clue number 1. This bitch is crazy pants. To get anyone's name tattooed on you, you better be sure that you're committed, or you better be sure that it's going to be an easy cover up. But she got it in, like, on the back of her thigh, on her neck, on her this, on her that. Yeah, in different languages and shit, but still. And I always say, like, if you're going to get someone's name tattooed, wow. I always say if you're going to get someone's name tattooed on you, if you're not going to get it in the language that you speak, then it's not impressive to me. It's like, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't be like, I'm going to get my name on you, but in another language just in case.
Well, she did get it. I think she got it in English, and then she got it in like 4 other languages as well. So she got English. His name is there in
at least once.
At least once. Next up, Tyrese and Shonda. And Tyrese says he wouldn't mind his kids meeting her, but says they aren't quite there yet.
He believes that their whole dream is going to come true, but he hasn't heard from her at this point since she got on the bus. But he says he's not worried. And then Tyrese's oldest son comes in and he says that his oldest son is a hardhead. And he kind of like, the son wears his shoes in the house and steps on the rug. And Tyrese is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he makes him take his shoes off.
He tells his son that he only got 3 hours with Shonda instead of the 4 he expected. And his son's like, that's not even long enough to have sex.
Yeah. And we have the money discussion, and Tyrese gets smart and he's like, well, I gave her $20 million. Yeah. It's not your business. His son says, she's using you, just straight out of the gates. Just, she's using you.
But then Tyrese is like, I would know if somebody was using me. I think we all want to believe that. Like, we would be able to recognize if somebody was trying to con us. But most of us would not. I mean, especially when you are lonely or you want to find somebody or you feel like somebody is the one, you just kind of look past all those red flags.
Yeah. And his son's like, well, whoa, like, I'm just throwing this stuff out there for you to, like, think about. And his son says, like, be careful. I just don't want to see my father being hurt. And that's sweet. He also has a very good looking son. Are we shocked at that?
Nope. He says it's going to take time to decide if they're going to be together or not. So at least he's recognizing that.
Yeah.
Next up, Lindsay and Scott's still complaining about Lindsay not showing up at the airport last time.
Mm-hmm. So he's on his way to finally pick this bitch up, and he says that he's never met her, and that they're basically going from prison to then moving in and being in person, and that this was just like an impulsive decision, but she's the love of his life. Based on what? Based on what? The fact that she's beautiful? Because that's all I'm seeing here.
That's all he's got. I mean, it doesn't seem like he knows her well enough to believe that.
No.
And he does say he couldn't get another limo for this time because he didn't have enough notice. I feel like you could rent a limo in a very short notice if you really fucking felt like it.
Yeah, hands down, but he doesn't have any fucking money. And her plane's landed, and she feels like they both understand hardship. She said that she was the one that told Scott that she loved him before he told her. That was a little shocking. But I'm thinking, what did she want at that moment? What did she need when she said that to him?
Well, he's been helping to support Miley, and he's been sending her money, so that would be my guess. A way to provide for Miley while she's in there with no other way to provide.
She says that she feels that their relationship is going to be the same in person. What's going to be the same? A man spoiling you like a spoiled brat. What's going to be the same? You still providing for a child that's not yours? Like what's the same? What's going to be the same?
Lindsay has done a lot of growing as a person over the years. Like from where she is here to where she is now is night and day. She says that being in Scott's arms was everything she thought it would be, but she did think he would be taller. That's the one thing she picks up on.
I'm not shocked though, because that with this stage of Lindsay seems like that would be something she'd say. Yeah, she is doing good now in her life, but so Lindsay, don't get pissed at us because we may want you on someday. So for an interview. He wants to have sex with her tonight. And she says, she sees the truck. She goes, "Whoa, you brought that drug dealer looking truck?" And he says, "That's my work truck." And I had speculated that that's probably what that was.
Yeah, she says it looks like a cheap drug dealer truck. Not even a good one.
They're in the truck and she's still bitching about this truck. And he's like hitting bumps and she's like getting jostled all over the place.
Now, this irritates the shit out of me how people do things like this, but she says she wants to go to her house and take a shower. How is this your house? This is Scott's shitty house that he's letting you stay at. Like, claiming ownership over things that do not belong to you is such a pet peeve of mine.
It's weird, but people do it. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of like not using the right words, but I feel like these people do this because they're literally like, all right, this is mine. Like he bought this for me. It's mine, my house, my money, my everything, my car, but it's the difference between a selfish person and a person who does it on accident. And she calls her daughter, and she tells her daughter that she has to do this quarantine instead of seeing her on the very first night.
So she says that she's been sending him cutouts of magazines for a year and a half now. But when she gets there, and we've already said this, that house is a wreck. It doesn't look like he's done shit to it. Miley has no room. It's just a fucking garage with a bunch of shit in it. There's no bed. I don't know, even if she could come home that day, if there was no quarantine, how could she come home? Where is she going to sleep? On the floor?
And he shows her that closet and is like, "Look, this is the exact same closet that I like. It looks exactly like the picture." And I'm like, "That is just a cheap ass fucking shelf." He's like, "It has your drawers." I'm like, "What drawers?" It just looks like a cheap piece of Walmart like shelving.
Him saying it looked exactly the same. My ass, it looked exactly the same.
Yeah, okay, man. I just don't think he had the money to give her what she wanted. That is what I'm thinking. And also, he's a slob.
But it's his fault. He was the one who was promising her this stuff. And he is a slob. Like that, you're going to be on TV. Clean your shit up.
So gross. The floor was disgusting.
Next up, Chevelle and Quaylen. And Chevelle's talking to Quaylen's sister. And she says she understands that they want him in Houston, but he is a grown man. Just like we've been saying. Grown man.
Yeah. She's like, I don't have a problem with you, but he's been locked up since he was 17. And it like you said, Chevelle's just like, he is a grown man. And the sister says, well, he may be a grown man physically, but he's still that boy. Okay. All right. Could be, because we do see it in like Maurice. Like they get out, they were set a child, and then they get out and now they have to be an adult, and they don't get to be a proper adult in prison,
Right.
and now they get out, and his mentality may be very much stuck at 17 because of all the trauma of the last 12 years. I kind of get where they're coming from, but he is also his own person and he can make his own decisions. The family needs to stop treating him like a child.
Well, then DeMarc asks him if he knows how much Chevelle has spent on him, and then says, are you going to be solid for her, or are you just going to be someone who comes into her life and takes from her? DeMarc is going, like, everybody's going to bat for everybody else, you know what I mean? But DeMarc is going hard.
He is, and this is also like a lot to put on Quaylen. It's just like, let this man breathe, please.
For 5 fucking seconds. Yeah. Welcome home. What are you fucking around with my cousin for? Yeah.
Here's your child. Here's your new truck. Now here's your future wife. Here's your cake. You're coming to live here. No, you're coming to live here.
His sister says Kansas City is dangerous and says it isn't a good place for somebody who's been locked up. But is she fucking drunk in this scene? Like, she looks hammered.
It was a party. She could have been drunk. That's hands down. If I was stressed out about this shit and I was like, this is a party for my brother who's getting out of prison after 12 years and they had like wine and shit, I'd be like, fuck yeah. So I'd be drunk too.
I don't think that he's drinking, but she is definitely drinking.
She's drinking, yeah. No, that's what I mean. I would be like, yeah, this is a party and I'm about to see my brother and yeah, party it up. I'd be, where's the boxed wine?
Chevelle tells his sister that he can get in trouble anywhere he goes, and she is right. It is up to him to decide what happens to him, not where he's located.
Yeah. She does like kind of say like, I'm not the one to like come into your house and like disrespect you, but like that's my brother. If anything happens to him, you and me are going to have a problem. But she did go into her house and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what she did.
DeMarc tells Quaylen that she's all sparkles and bubbles right now, and Quaylen says, and then he says to Quaylen, what are you going to do when bills and kids and life start? Like, this is, as you said, it's a lot to put on this dude who just walked out of prison.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, well, real life is like about to set in, and he says, I don't see you guys staying together for 6 months. He's like, I give it 6 months, maybe 3.
So Quaylen says that DeMarc is just trying to rile him up, and as long as he's good with Chevelle, that's all he needs.
I guess. And then we pan back to Chevelle, and Chevelle says that I am marrying Quaylen. She says his family still wants him to move to Houston, but she's just ready to get married yesterday. And Quaylen is overwhelmed, which we know. This poor guy.
Yeah, she said it would be bad for their relationship if he moves back to Houston. Well, no kidding.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it's already bad.
He puts it well. He says, all of the input from everyone is what's overwhelming him. You know, everybody giving their opinions on stuff when he's just trying to be his own self.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to go out of his way to please everybody. Then he says that Houston is a safe haven in case it doesn't work out, basically, with Chevelle. And at the end of the day, it's all about what is going to make him happy. Absolutely.
Next up, Lindsay and Scott, and they're eating pizza, and she says she thought she was going to come home to a house that was ready to be lived in. She very, very much did not.
I mean, that's what she was promised. So, I mean, this is. We want to call her a brat, but she was promised shit that he did not deliver. You don't promise shit and then not fucking deliver. Scott says it's been 2 hours since he picked Lindsay up, and all she's been doing is complaining about the truck and complaining about the house. And then Lindsay says that this is all red flags. There's not even any room for her daughter and no furniture. I wouldn't say it's red flags necessarily, kind of.
He lied.
I mean, I guess, right?
He should have planned better, as she said, and he lied. He said that he just had a little bit of work to do. He's not even beginning to be ready, and having a place for her to go to where she has to stay, you know, he's confining her. She agreed to be confined to that house for the duration of her home incarceration, or whatever you call it, home whatever.
Yeah, and now she wanted her dream house, and now she's on house arrest. She can't get away from that house, and she can't get away from Scott. So she's in this shithole with no fucking furniture and stuck. And all she can't leave, right?
Right.
She can't leave. She's just like a prisoner all fucking over again in that dirty ass house.
She said she was excited about having the house because she wanted to have privacy, but she does tell him over pizza how dirty the house is. Again, she reiterates it, and he says he's upset by her reaction coming into the house. What did you expect, dude? Like, what did you think was going to happen? You didn't do anything you said you were going to do.
No, and that would be very overwhelming if you walk into a house with no furniture and it's dirty after like just getting out of prison.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm down for some cleaning, but this is not what I had in mind, and I am not a maid. And she just says this isn't just a few things. This house is dirty, and you just literally didn't do anything that you said you were going to do ahead of time.
Right. And as she's yelling at him, he tells her closet looks just like the pictures. Dude, I think we're looking at different pictures. Like, that is not the closet from the picture.
It's like this teeny tiny little thing. She shows him a picture of like a full wall closet, and this is like I said, like a piece of shit from Walmart. Like it would go in a closet to give additional space. It is not a closet.
I don't understand what was happening there. And she does point out to him that he's the one who made these promises. He's the one who set all of this up, and he created her expectations. So if he, like we've said this before, but if he had not lied and given her all of these things to expect, she's not going to fucking expect them.
Yeah. I love this line. She said, you made it sound like I was coming home to Disney World and this is the county fair. And then he says she's ungrateful and then says, oh, bitch, he would have got it for this. He goes, you came here from a cage. I was like, fuck you. That was bullshit.
He gets so much worse. He is such a fucker.
Ugh.
Next up, Destiny and Sean, and she's showing him all of the stuff she bought, and he tells her she's spending too much money.
And she just says, like, so what? And he says, there's also all these withdrawals from the casino. She's taking his cards and draining them at the casino to gamble.
Mm-hmm. He says if she doesn't slow down her spending, he can only support it for about 2 more months before they'll be broke.
Wow. No, they're already broke because if he's using credit cards and he's racking up credit cards and pulling out all of his savings, he's fucking broke. He says, I'd rather you buy stuff instead of go to the casino because then at least there's shit to show for it. And she said, well, there is something to show for it. My happiness. What a brat.
She's ridiculous. He tells her to settle down on the spending, and she says that when she was in prison, he promised her that he would get her everything she needed and wanted. And she's just collecting on that.
Yeah.
But he makes a really, really good point. He says she's just replacing her drug addiction with a gambling addiction.
Yeah. Hands down, he hit it on the head. And then she tells us that Sean does not know that she did heroin in prison about 3 months ago, which is I'm not shocked because we know they do drugs in prison. I'm surprised, and I don't think she's telling the truth. I think she did it more than just one time 3 months ago.
I'm sure. Her fucking smirk, like that smirk on her face in this scene, she has such a punchable face. Like, it's ridiculous.
That is a good one. Punchable face.
She said she's going to have the perfect day because he'll be gone and she won't go shopping. Maybe she'll just do some swimming.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And then he said he's not sure after all this shit, he's not sure how he's going to propose to Destiny. And then Kelly calls while he's inflating this stupid raft for her so that she can go swimming instead of shopping.
Yeah, and Destiny sees that he's on the phone and he tells her that it's Kelly when she asks, and she tells him to get a plane ticket for her to go home. Fuck you and buy her the ticket. Goodbye. Good riddance.
I'd be like, walk. Take your pool float and float the fuck away.
Float on out of here, bitch. Next, we have a very quick check-in with Heather and Dylan, and they're going to the car wash, and he appears to be watching porn as they make out. Is that right? Is that what happened?
How did I miss that? How did I fucking miss that?
I have no idea.
At this point, I was tired and very frustrated that this episode would not fucking end, and I was crashing out. But all I know is that they were in the stupid car wash, and they started kissing and making out, and then he says all he wants is sushi and good sex. Sushi food.
Sushi food. Next up, John and Christiana, and he says he doesn't know what's going to happen to her having been picked up by the halfway house.
Yeah, they were just trying to go out to eat, and now she's back in the facility, and he really hopes that they're not going to take him off of her driver list, and he thinks that there's a possibility they won't because he's her husband.
She says she's going to get a ticket for this, and she's crying and says that she's really glad that he's in her life.
Yeah, that ticket is going to cost her money, like we said. And then he says, I'm glad he recognizes this. He says she is a drug addict, and this could be a trigger, and that she could either, go back to drugs because she's stressed, or she could run if she gets pissed off enough.
Next up, Maurice and Jessica, and he is 1 week out of prison at this point, and Mom is worried that the police are going to show up at her house.
Yeah, so then Dad takes him outside to talk, and Mom is worried that the people that Maurice hangs around with, like, because he's a former gang member, are going to know where they live and find out. I'm going to say that's kind of far-fetched.
Unlikely. But they're not exposed to gang life, and so they probably don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Her dad does tell him he's not happy about them getting married, and he's concerned about his family. And Maurice is like, hey, and Maurice says that he recognizes that her dad is a hard worker, but says don't piss him off and don't fuck with his family. And he says he recognizes that because he's also a don't fuck with my family kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mom says, well, maybe he's putting on a show, and maybe he has a sweet personality, but I just don't know if he's conning us. But like, time will tell. And just they're both just concerned about themselves and their family, Jessica, and their just in general family. And Dad just doesn't want any of Maurice's old life to come in and invade their family.
Maurice thanks her dad for the talk because he says he never had a male role model for him. And he says that he just wants a normal life and that gang life doesn't mean anything to him anymore. He's moved past that.
Yeah. And then Dad said, I thought this was kind of sweet, this whole thing here. Dad says, he says, looks mean nothing to me. It's about what's in here. And then he puts his hand on his heart. And Dad says that it'll be nice to have a son because he doesn't have a son. And I'm taking your word. And Maurice said that he's going to do his best and that he's not afraid to ask Dad for help if he needs help.
Well, her dad tells him that she should come back to stay in Las Vegas until his parole is changed. And Maurice says he's not feeling it, but he may have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
We wrap this week up with Destiny and Sean, and Destiny tells Sean to buy her a plane ticket home, and he asks why. Which is a fair question at this point because, I mean, he knows she's off kilter here. So.
Yeah. I'm done with you. She feels very disrespected because how dare he talk to the mother of his children? And she says that if it was you calling your kids, that would be different. Bullshit. I feel like she would still be fucking jealous and have a problem with him calling his kids.
Mm-hmm. He tells us that she needs to understand that they share kids and there are going to be phone calls whether she likes it or not. It doesn't seem like it's whether she likes it or not. It seems like you do whatever the fuck she tells you to do.
Yeah. Yep. She says you don't respect me, and I just don't want to be with you. And she just tells him again, I'm going to punch you in your mouth. And she says, you're a liar and just get out of my face.
So they are standing on the porch screaming at each other. And he says he has to go to work. And he wants to fix their problems before he leaves. He doesn't want to leave on bad terms.
I don't think that's possible. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's going to come back to when he gets back from work. And then he at some point, he goes back to the truck. And then she goes back to the truck and starts fucking beating on him. And then he, like, full blown, she hits him multiple times.
He should have punched her in the fucking head. Keep
Knock
your
her out.
goddamn hands to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your VIP for this week?
Jessica's dad, because I thought that was really sweet, that he was willing to welcome Maurice into his life as his son.
That's a good one. I chose Hector for keeping it 100. And your POS?
I'm going to go, it was a toss-up between Destiny and Scott, and I'm going to go with Scott because at this moment, he is a fucking piece of shit liar.
Such a piece of shit. I chose Destiny for punching Sean because keep your goddamn hands to yourself, dude. Like, why is this such a hard concept?
Yeah.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, oh babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.